Have you fallen out of love? Do you still have passion for what you had a year ago, 6 months ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago? Do you still love it the way that you used to? Why? Why do you still have a passion for something you started when you were 6 years old? Why do you love to do an activity, a sport, a hobby? I don't know, I already said activity, but why do you still love it? Is it the thing that gets you up in the morning? Is it the thought in your head of experiencing that joy again? There are so many things that you and I fall in love again with every single day. You fall in love with the smell of coffee. You fall in love with hearing the birds chirp, the leaves fall, stepping on leaves when they're crispy, the ocean air, the ocean breeze, the smell of the sea, the colors that are vibrant that you can get to experience. Falling in love with life again is so vital. It's so important, and we definitely look past that. We definitely overlook all of the senses that we have to appreciate life in a way. And then on the other hand, it's hard. It's hard to truly appreciate something that you no longer are in love with, that you no longer have this deep passion for. And it's hard, and it's scary, because maybe you don't know what to do. Maybe you are really in between a rock and a hard place of deciding what to do next, because you don't know what to do next, because you've fallen out of love with something that you thought you would love forever. And honestly, maybe that's a person. Maybe it's a hobby. Maybe it's a part of yourself that you thought that you would always be and you now aren't them. And there's nothing wrong with that. And seeing not the tunnel, like the light on the other side, is hard when you have fallen out of love of something that you don't any longer have a goal intertwined with, that you do not any longer resonate with. And to find that drive to continue to put forth effort to try to have something good come out of it because you no longer love something is hard. And sometimes you have to stick with it and see that maybe you will fall back in love with it for that person. And maybe it's just something on the inside that you're dealing with, and maybe it's not even that thing or that person or that activity, because burnout is real. Burnout is so real, and not a lot of people talk about it, and not a lot of people really share the truth about it. And figuring out whether you're burned out or if you've fallen out of love with something is hard, because one part of you is so deeply involved in it, so deeply heavy, like identifies with it. But then another part of you is like, I no longer want to be that person anymore. I no longer want to be with that person anymore. And it's hard to let go. And you and I both know when the time is right and when it is time to let go. And sometimes when you have to let go and when you need to let go is when you don't want to the most. And when holding on to that thing is burning you more than it is saving you. And you and I are allowed to change. You and I are allowed to have different passions. You and I are able to be different. We are. Because no one is meant to stay in a box. No one is meant to be tied down to the person who they were at the age of 18. Nobody is forced to stay who they once were without that life experience. Because that is life. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to do something else. You can be whoever you want to be. And sometimes that means letting go of the things who you thought you used to be and the things that you thought that you should be. And falling out of love doesn't have to be some big, crazy deal. It could just be you letting go of something that you thought was for you, but never truly was for you. And sometimes those pieces, those ideas, those moments were always in your head. That you felt like there were pressure from other people, but those people just wanted you to give it one more chance and to stick it out. And it's scary. It's scary to think about what you would do next. It's scary to think about jumping to the next rock because you genuinely do not know what you want to do next. And it's terrifying and it's scary. And the thing is, jumping to that next fence, jumping to that next lily pad is, honestly, it might be the scariest thing, but it might be the best thing that you need in the world. Because when you no longer love that thing that you're pursuing, when you no longer have this deep passion for what you genuinely want, it's not worth sticking with it. It's not worth trying to salvage something that you have no intention of making amends with. You have no intentions of trying to make it better because you have just fallen out of love with it. And sometimes you have to let part of yourself go. And that figuring it out is what life is. And trying to decide what you should do next is kind of what life is about. And there will not be a right, perfect answer. There never is, and there never will be. And it's hard. Because you're kind of left with, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, stayed in that same environment. Could have stayed in that same headspace. But then another part of you is like, well, I don't want to anymore. I want to leave. And what else is there for me? And it's always that hindsight is 20/20. Hindsight is always 20/20. That, oh, I should have done this. I could have done this. I could have been this. I should have been someone. I should have stuck with that person. I should have stuck with that. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. And hindsight is always 20/20. And sometimes taking that leap of faith is the scariest step. But maybe it's an illusion. Maybe your eyes are making you see that this jump, this leap, is 1,000 miles away, that it seems impossible. But all it is that you might need to rub your eyes a little bit, just both of them, and see and look down and see it's just one step in front of you. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because there are times and there are places and there's events that we wish that we shoulda, coulda, would have done and that we would have done differently. And sometimes being in the moment is the hardest place to see the truth. And trying to figure out whether you actually love something or you love the idea of someone or something is hard. And trying to advocate for yourself along with your feelings in addition to what you wanted to become is hard. Because no one tells you what to do next. No one tells you that you should leave your significant other of 5 years. No one tells you you should leave your safe job that has a salary of over $100,000. No one tells you to take that leap of faith because they're scared to do it. And they're scared of you to do it because they don't want to see you fail. But at the end of the day, Sometimes the scariest thing is what's best for you. Sometimes that scariest thing that you need to do is going to set you far apart. Far, far, far apart from anything that you could have imagined. And maybe this leap of faith is the next thing that you need to do for yourself, to advocate for yourself, and to fall back in love with yourself. Food for thought.